The Semiconductor Industry Association reported recently that the worldwide semiconductor sales in February grew by 36.2% from the same period last year, totaling $22 billion. This reflects the continued recovery of sales of semiconductors driven by demand for personal computers and cell phones. According to another report by the IDC, the worldwide electronic manufacturing services or EMS industries contracted by 11% in 2009, less than expected due to a resurgence of consumer spending late last year. It is expected to enjoy a compound annual growth of 8% for the 2010 and 2014 period. However, electronic manufacturing services firms will continue to face challenges from their clients. The electronics industry, being the leading sector in Malaysia's manufacturing sector, contributes significantly to the country's manufacturing output of 39.3%, exports 55.9%, and provide employment of 38.8% of the country's workforce. The manufacturing sector has recorded a strong comeback with 5.3% growth, supported both by increased domestic and external demand. So for a sector that contributes 29.3% of our manufacturing output and 55.9% of our total exports, it is important that the government, whether the federal or the state, does not lose sight of giving proper assistance, encouragement, as well as dealing with the main concerns of this industry. For Penang, we have grown from 1.3 billion, our GDP has grown from 1.3 billion in 1970 to 21 billion today, largely due to the expanding manufacturing sector and principally driven by the electronics and electrical sector. And the manufacturing sector accounts for 39% of Penang's economy, with the services sector, where a large component is derived from services provided to the E&E sector, takes up 57% of the GDP. So just from these two sectors alone account for 97% or almost the entire GDP of Penang. Penang's shares of Malaysia's exports is even more impressive. From 2007, Penang comprised 31% of Malaysia's exports, and this has increased to more than one-third by 2009. In terms of the electronic and electrical components, Penang makes up 57% of Malaysia's total exports of electrical and electronic components. Penang has attracted investments of 9 billion since March 2008. We target ourselves investments of 4.2 billion this year. Now, over the past 10 years, Nepcon has been the key event for the electronics manufacturing industry in Penang. It is the only event that serves the entire supply chain for Malaysian electronics industry. I'm heartened to know that this year, the exhibition is 17% larger in size, with 301 companies from 23 countries here to seek business opportunities. This will not only give a boost to the electronics industry in Penang, but also provide a boost to the Malaysian economy. Interestingly, there will be 10 companies showcasing PV or photovoltaic related products at Nepcon, Malaysia this year. PV is relatively new in Malaysia, with 5 major FDIs between 2007 and 2008 worth up to 4.2 billion from First Solar, Q Cells, Sun Power, Rene Solar, and Tokuyama Corporation between the years of 2007 and 2008. Attracting FDIs to set up PV manufacturing capabilities in Malaysia is the government's first step towards reducing greenhouse gases emission in line with UN's effort, or UN's global Climate Charter. And the Inter-Solar Exhibition has reaffirmed Penang's commitment to attract strong or solid solar companies to set up their presence in Penang. Of course, PV or solar companies is basically driven by government incentives. Without government incentives, it is impossible because of the high cost to make solar energy a viable alternative. Now, for government incentives to work, the feed-in tariffs must be adequate. And up to now, we are uncertain what will be the FIP that is announced that would be established in Malaysia. We know that under the 10th Malaysian Plan, there is interest and there is an announcement that there will be FIP. But to what extent and to what levels, I think will interest the industry. At the same time, we hope that the Naga Nasional or the government will not announce an increase in electricity tariffs just to accommodate the proposed feed-in tariffs. Because we know in Korea, in order to accommodate the solar energy or to make solar energy as a viable alternative, before the FIP was introduced, the government of Korea allowed electricity tariffs to rise. Let me urge that the government withhold or do not follow the example of some countries of increasing electricity tariffs all round before introducing the feed-in tariffs. Now, we recognize that Penang's attractiveness, despite the lack of natural resources, is due to 6 key factors. Number 1, the availability of a talented workforce. Number 2, a reliable logistics hub. Number 3, a competent supply chain management. Number 4, a livable city, where Penang is the most livable city in Malaysia, on par with Kuala Lumpur. We are the 8th most livable city in Asia and the most livable city in Malaysia, together with Kuala Lumpur. You stay in Penang, there's no other better place in Malaysia. Now, 5thly, intellectual property protection. And of course, finally, good governance. We know your concerns and we speak your language. We know what you are talking about, and that is one quality in Penang which you will not find anywhere else in Malaysia. Last week, I visited the corporate headquarters of B. Braun at München, Germany. I met with Professor Dr. Braun, who is the chairman of the company. I saw the best manufacturing practices in Germany as exemplified by B. Braun, and he has also reaffirmed of bringing those state-of-the-art manufacturing techniques to Penang by 2013, with a total expansion plan of 1.3 billion by 2013. It's important to note that whilst we attract new investors, we must not forget the existing ones, because it is the existing investors, both foreign and domestic, that makes up the bulk of our economic activities. We realize that we rely not just on human intelligence. Collective intelligence, digital intelligence is also important, but without institutional intelligence and integrity intelligence, so that we can have a government that knows our way forward, as well as leaders who are clean to make sure there is no leakages. And here in Penang, we have integrity as well as institutional intelligence. Now, I hope that Nepcon, which is an institution in itself, will take more initiatives to organize more exhibitions in Penang. And I hope the organizers will take a proactive approach to bring world-class players into Penang, to promote industries to Malaysia, as well as to regional countries in Southeast Asia.